Yes. Yes.
Firstly, I would like you to welcome you all to this beautiful setting to witness and celebrate this wonderful occasion. All of you have made a lengthy journey to be here. Between us, we have travelled a huge distance, and I know how grateful both Patrick and Caitlin are. To introduce myself, my name is Lucy. I'm Patrick's older sister, and almost Caitlin's sister-in-law. I'm also very proud to be here to conduct this ceremony. I'll be trying quite hard to keep my nerves and my tears at bay. A lot of you will know at least part of this story, but I have the honour of filling in a few bits. Why are we here? Well, my brother Patrick, or Min as he's known to me, has always been an adventurer. Even from birth, it was obvious he was going to follow an exciting path and keep us on our toes. His spirit of adventure has always kept him moving. How quickly, how fast, and how far were the only questions he ever asked himself. Moving to America was always going to be part of this story, at some point. When he introduced but a girl, most importantly, who had the same spirit of adventure he did. Caitlin, this beautiful girl, grew up in Massachusetts and wanted to be the President of the United States. For those of you that know Kate, I'm sure you will agree she'll do a fantastic job someday. She was keen to see the world and have adventures and started her travelling at only 11. And much to my envy, can speak many, many languages. Throughout all of this travelling, she did find that a little piece of her heart and soul belongs in England. I have great fun in discovering quite how much Caitlin loves everything British. A proper cup of tea, fish and chips, the Yorkshire puddings, Downton Abbey, the royal family. I'm not sure she's quite convinced about the weather, especially today. However, despite spending a year living the good life here in England, it wasn't long after she returned to the Big Apple and took a work trip to Seattle, some 4,781 miles from London, that she met this man. A man miles away, but one with whom she was ready to have an adventure with. Living oceans apart didn't stop their relationship from growing. It didn't stop them from integrating into each other's lives and joining forces to create this beautiful relationship that we're celebrating today. But it did get hard, and after 2 years, it was time to move on to the next chapter. So off they went, as far as they could, and together, to Seattle. And for the last 2 years, they've set down, with the help from Moxie, the foundations of a wonderful life together. A life full of fun, with great friends and family supporting them. Now, this isn't a unique story, but it is an amazing story, a true love story. These two were meant to meet, meant to fall in love, and have set themselves up for a very long and happy life together. I've been lucky enough to be part of this story and truly believe that the two of them are a great team. They're very similar in many ways and both complement each other very well. Caitlin encourages Patrick to do and see the things he wants to continue to have the adventures he longs for and have fun, but she has a good way of keeping him grounded. She quickly became a big part of our family and has already built up some wonderful relationships with many of us. Luke and Holly in particular are very excited to finally be calling her Auntie Kate. She somehow makes Patrick an even better and happier version of himself, and for that, Caitlin, I am truly grateful to you. It's not all one-sided. It's very obvious to all that know him that Patrick really loves Caitlin and Moxie. To Caitlin, Patrick is home. He's created a deep sense of peace and support. He's one of the hardest of workers and always makes sure that Caitlin is happy. He puts her needs first and is even pretty handy with a hoover. I'm also sure that without his enthusiasm, Caitlin would not have quite so many adventures, especially the ones that require an early start. Now, Min and Caitlin have asked that Colleen, Caitlin's sister, read the very appropriate Love by Roy Croft.
heart and passing over all the foolish, weak things that you can't help but dimly seeing there, and for drawing with the light all the beautiful. See it. But no one else has looked quite far enough to find. I love you because you are helping me to make of the lumber of my life not a tavern, but a temple. Out of the works of my everyday, not a reproach, but a song. I love you because you have done more than any creed could have done to make me good, and more than any fate could have done to make me happy. You have done it. I apologize if that was. Without a touch, without a word, without a sign, you have done it. By being yourself, perhaps that is what being a friend means after all.
Now, Caitlin asked me if I could offer any advice for a happy marriage. Having only been married for a few years, I'm not quite sure how different ideas as to how to make this work, and you two will find your own way over the years. I see marriage as a bit like a clock. Every single tiny cog is just as important as the rest. Every piece needs to be treasured and looked after, or it simply won't work. You both need to appreciate each other, learn to give each other time and space when it is needed, sacrifice some of your own time to be there for the other when required. Have respect for each other's lives before this point. Encourage and enjoy all the differences you have, all the things that attracted you to each other in the first place, all the little things that you love about each other. And celebrate all the similarities. Continue to enjoy each other, learning all the time about the other person and what makes them happy. Continue to treasure and respect each other, and I don't think you'll go too far wrong. There no doubt will be times when things are hard and when life throws you an unexpected curveball. But together, with that love and respect for each other, and with the encouragement of all the people here with you today, you will be stronger together. Now Hannah, mine and Patrick's sister, is reading an extract from The Great Gatsby.
Do my best. Right, okay. I can't describe to you how surprised I was to find out I loved her on sport. I even hoped for a while that she'd throw me over, but she didn't, because she was in love with me too. She thought I knew a lot because I knew different things from her, while I was way off my ambitions, getting deeper
afternoon, before he went abroad, he sat with Daisy in his arms for a long and silent time. It was a cold, full day, with the fire in the room, and her cheeks flushed. Now and then she moved, and he changed his arm a little. And once he kissed her dark, shiny hair. The afternoon had made them tranquil for a while, as if to give them a deep memory for a long parting that the next day promised. They'd never been closer in their month of love, nor communicated more profoundly one with another than when she brushed silent lips against his coat's shoulder, or when he touched the end of her fingers gently, as though she were asleep.
Now, the vows you're about to make to each other are a way of saying to one another, you know all those things we've promised and hoped and dreamt. Well, I meant it, every word.
You're so heavy. My arms hurt so much.
Look at one another and remember this moment. Before this, you've been so many things to each other and have learnt so much from one another over the last 4 years. Shortly, you will say a few words to each other that take you to the next chapter in your lives. After this day, you will say to the world, this is my wife, this is my husband. Now, Patrick and Caitlin have written a few words for each other. Patrick?
Kate, with my whole heart, I take you as my wife. You've been my best friend, my mentor, and my greatest challenge. But most importantly, you're the love of my life, and you make me happier than I've ever imagined, and more loved than I ever thought possible. You've made me a better person, and feel blessed to be part of your life, whichever today comes our life together. You know me better than anyone else. You know me better than anyone else in the world, and somehow still manage to love me. I promise faithfulness, patience, respect, lightheartedness, a sense of humour, and mac and cheese when you get home with your trips. I can't wait to continue our travels together.
Caitlin, it's your turn.
Patrick, you are my best friend, and I can't imagine spending my life with anyone else. I love you for always making sure Moxie has a faux fur blanket to snuggle with. I love you for being our resident chef, and I love you for your willingness to drive 10 hours straight with me on our epic road trips, even though my musical selection often drives you crazy. You've taught me to be more patient, lighthearted, generous, and understanding, and I'm confident that in the coming years I will learn so much more from you. In our life together, I promise to cherish you, honor you, respect you, and always love you. I promise not to get mad when you get up at 4 a.m. on a Saturday to watch football, but I don't promise to ever join you. Instead, I do promise to make the most of every waking minute we have together. Whether it's an early morning hike to the top of one of Washington's gorgeous mountains, a quick walk with Miss Mox to your favorite sculpture park, or something as simple as a trip to the grocery store, I promise to treasure every moment as if it were our finest. Your happiness and enthusiasm for life have never gone unnoticed by me or anybody else, and I promise to attempt to match that excitement as often as I can. I promise to never stop being your #1 supporter, and I'm so grateful that you've chosen to be mine. From this day forward, I promise to take on the world with you like we never have before. Thanks.
Patrick, do you take Caitlin to be your beloved wife, knowing in your heart that you'll be a true and faithful friend on this amazing day and in the presence of your family and friends as witnesses? Do you give Caitlin this vow that you will always be with her, that you will get through whatever life throws at you, good and bad? Will you be kind to her, trusting, tolerant and understanding? Will you console her and comfort her? Will you share her happiness and laughter? And will you cherish her as long as you both shall live?
Emma.
Good. Caitlin. Do you take Patrick to be your beloved husband, knowing in your heart that you will be a true and faithful friend, on this amazing day, and in the presence of your family and friends as witnesses? Do you give Patrick this vow, that you will always be with him, that you will get through whatever life throws at you, both good and bad? Will you be kind to him, trusting, tolerant and understanding? Will you console him and comfort him? Will you share happiness and laughter? And will you cherish him as long as you both shall live?
I will.
Luke, may I have the rings, please? Patrick and Caitlin, your rings are an external and visible sign of the bond of love that unites you both. May you look at these rings and forever remember this day and remember the promises you have made to each other. Patrick, repeat after me. Caitlin, I give you this ring as a symbol of our marriage.
Caitlin, I give you this ring as a symbol of our marriage.
For today and tomorrow and all the days to come.
For today and tomorrow, always to come.
Are you sure? There's more. Wear it as a sign of what we have promised and have done this day.
Where is a sign of what we've done?
And what we've done today.
And what we've done today.
Sorry. I'm distracting you.
No more distractions.
Okay. Oh. Okay.
Patrick, I give you this ring as a symbol of our marriage.
Patrick, I give you this ring as a symbol of our marriage.
For today and tomorrow and all the days to come.
For today and tomorrow and all the days to come.
Wear it as a sign of what we have promised and have done this day.
Wear it as a sign of
what we have promised
what we've promised
and done this day.
And done this day.
Well, it is my absolute honour to announce you are now man and wife. Patrick, you may kiss your beautiful bride.